get them to at least paint, because it's the least expensive thing they could do for the greatest ROI. The end period. I mean, that's what I tell everybody in my paint class. If they don't want to spend any more money, at least get them to paint, because you can tell them, okay, Mr. Seller, you can go to and when you're touching up and it's just one wall or something, or an accent wall and painting it, they can go to Sherwin-Williams, give them your name or your company name at Sherwin-Williams, and then your seller gets the discount on the paint. You don't get a huge discount, but you do get discount because you have an account there. And also too, they will keep track of those paint colors as
Welcome to The Local Lens, the podcast that brings the South Dakota community together. I'm Jamie Forrest, your host and your local realtor, here to showcase what makes our region a fantastic place to live. Join me as we explore vibrant local culture, highlight community events, and provide valuable insights for homeowners. Whether you're a current resident or considering a move, The Local Lens is your go-to source for everything in South Dakota. Let's discover, connect, and thrive together. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Local Lens here with Jamie Forrest. And I'm happy to introduce my guest today, Krisztina Bell. She is the founder of No Vacancy Home Staging, and she continues to be recognized as one of the top 100 most influential people in the real estate staging industry. She has over 20 years of experience providing home staging services. She believes in working as a team with her clients, which is a valuable investment into helping a home sell faster and for top dollar in this real estate market. Her company's work, along with her expert real estate marketing advice, has been featured in Realtor Magazine, Apartment Therapy, Women's World Magazine, Fox 5, Good Day, Atlanta, among others. She is also contributing to a blog writer for the National Association of Realtors, Styled Stage Sold blog. We make the home staging process effortlessly. So that's what her motto is. She gets in contact with her clients, she gets them a quote, she signs a contract, she fills out all that information, and then maybe even recommends a few paint colors. And she can do that all within seconds and online. So Krisztina is dedicated to education. So she teaches monthly home staging and paint CE classes to real estate agents and leads a course on the business of home staging through Emory University CE program for designers and aspiring stagers. Bell says making connection through these classes has established us as Atlanta's vacant home staging experts. Her company has exclusive partnership and plays a role in the business development committee for the Atlanta nonprofit organization, Furnish With Love, LLC. She raises money every year and will be decorating her 5th home for a family coming out of homelessness, and encourages local business owners to enjoy the rewards of giving back to their community. I'm excited to maybe hear a little bit more about this. So looking ahead, she is introducing her new collaboration marketing course online to stagers nationwide, and continue conducting collaborative marketing events with their staging peers. So she works with California Closets, Sherwin-Williams, and the Atlanta Decorative Arts Center. So she says she believes in collaboration, fosters growth, sparks innovation, and builds long-term relationships. So excited to have you here. Welcome to The Local Lens.
Thanks for having me. From Atlanta.
From Atlanta, you're much warmer there than we are here.
A little bit warmer today, actually. It was a bit chilly, but we're okay. We're heading into the holiday season. So, you would think it'd be a slow time for staging and listing and selling houses. But here in Atlanta, being a big city and a top 10 to move to, we're staying consistently busy, for sure. And still staging houses to the end of this month, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to do, and we keep our group pretty busy, but it's exciting. I love to obviously help agents better understand how to use home staging as a marketing tool in today's market. So thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to learn. So let's just start with the basics. So what are the benefits of home staging?
Yeah, well, that's the first thing I talk about in my home staging CE class, just to refresh everybody why I teach the class, and why do I need to use home staging? Some real estate agents are like, I've never used it before. Some have used it before. Some say, but I got to convince my seller. How am I going
Right.
to do that to spend the money? And so I usually let them know, yes, there is all of that. But nowadays, it's here in Atlanta, at least the millennials are really making it tough. They want everything to be, almost brand new. They want it to be luxe. They don't want to do a lot of work when they move in. So painting needs to be done, hardware replaced, or maybe changing out light fixtures. And every little bit that you do is just going to make that home much more showable and marketable condition. So staging is going to take it a step further. If it's an occupied home, I definitely would have at least a good vendor list. That's your team basically always in getting a home ready to sell. And, there's staging consultations that can take place to get a home that's occupied in order, removing furniture, decluttering, things of that nature. That's what they'll suggest.
Right.
Vacant properties is what we specialize in. So those are going to be more challenging. To me, 9 times out of 10, a furnished home is going to sell before a vacant one. Keep
Yeah.
that in mind. And when it's vacant, you trying to basically get it in its most marketable condition and make it look like a model home. You're like selling the dream, so to speak. So focusing on that living room, dining room, kitchen, master bedroom, 2 bathrooms. That's kind of the base that we always focus on. It's those first rooms that you see when you walk in the door are most important. When a house is empty, the rooms are going to appear smaller. Believe it or not, when you
Yes.
stage a home and put furniture in it, the rooms will appear larger. That is a huge benefit right there. It's going to feel cold, bleak. It's going to look desperate to sell. You don't want a low ball price. You want to get the most bang for the buck, and you want to get the highest asking price, or at least as close to your asking price as possible. Staging will help you do that. You're going to avoid those low ball offers because they're going to say, oh, they're not here, they moved, so they're going to be desperate to sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Staged home's not going to be that way. So
Makes
um,
sense.
it is. That's another benefit. And then also too, it will give you, in some instances, a higher appraisal value as well. People don't think about that.
Hmm.
Sometimes there are agents that will just stage a house to get that higher appraisal value in some instances. So that's something else. And you want to do it when you first list it. You don't want to be staging after the fact
Right.
because then you
First
made
impression.
your seller pay another mortgage payment and another mortgage payment. That can almost add up to $2,500. Well, that $2,500 could have paid for up to 3 months of staging here in Atlanta.
Right.
We're not as expensive as New York and Texas and California. Our pricing is very reasonable. I think here in Atlanta, it should be higher, but that's kind of the average where we are as far as a standard
That's
package
not
of
bad.
furniture for a home, maybe 500,000 and under. Now, when you get into the higher end luxury, 1 million, 3 million on up, you're definitely going to be about maybe 1,000 to double that, depending upon the size of the rooms. Yeah, many benefits. And then, of course, as you know, it's all about the photos. The stats are there that NAR says 90% of home buyers are looking for their home online. 85% of them are saying it's the photos that cause them to pick up the phone or text their agent saying, this is the house, we want to go see it. And it's the photos that are going to attract them online as well. It's more the online web presence than it is the curb appeal right now.
Right.
So and more attractive photos because now you've got a cozy, warm environment. You've got some pillows and throws and artwork, and all that's going to pop in your photos and show up really well. And you can show and tell a story. This is the living, this is the dining, or you can have the family outside around the fire pit or whatever, or the
Hmm.
outside fireplace. And, here's the game room and the family room or media type room, because now we're starting to, stage a lot more of those casual living spaces now. The dining room
Yeah.
is almost
They're
not
unique. Yeah.
formal dining room anymore. It's like the breakfast area is the new dining, or the kitchen island is the new dining. At
Hmm.
least here in Atlanta it is. So things are changing. Things
Yeah.
are definitely changing.
Things are definitely, yeah. So tell us a little bit about with this change, obviously you started doing in-person home staging, what we know as home staging, but we've also grown into virtual staging and then
Yep.
using AI to stage. So expand a little bit on how that's changed your work and what you're seeing for trends using those other staging options.
So what we're seeing, at least what I'm seeing after COVID, a lot of people were starting to look at their home from a different perspective and you actually utilizing the spaces in their home. Like, we really should change this room and make it a Zen room or a yoga room or reading room, or maybe it's the gift wrapping room, who knows? But it's like
Yeah.
now these flex spaces, what we used to call them, are now becoming actual spaces either to
Purposeful.
put an office. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a purpose now. And so, yeah, after COVID, we staged a lot of office spaces in the dining room or in the front living room. And then the family room is now the living room. We did a lot of that the first couple of years after. And now it's kind of changing where they're wanting, I want to do this additional family room, but I want it to have a living space, but then I want it to have a game table for the kids to play at, kind of thing. Or I want it to be more like a guy's lounging area where they can hang out and play poker or have a beer or whatever and relax, kind of thing. So there's a lot of this change happening where we're kind of staging these other areas or flex spaces now as unique spaces. And believe it or not, there are, like, I've seen some other stagers here in Atlanta do yoga rooms. And even with virtual staging, you can do that too. So with home staging, I always recommend to do the regular traditional home staging, especially on those main rooms of a house, especially if it's a large home that has extra living spaces and these flex spaces that you don't know what to do with. That's where virtual staging can kind of come in and help with that without having to spend the extra money to
Yeah.
bring in more furniture. So there is some advantages and disadvantages to utilizing virtual staging, but I like to almost combine the two services together in some instances. Now, again, if somebody has a very small budget and it's an agent that's like, no, I'm only going to spend a couple $100 and I'll pay for the photographer. And then I'm just going to provide maybe 2 or 3 virtual staged photos. That's my marketing package in the end. And it may work, it may not work. But if you're doing small condos or small townhomes and things, it could be a good marketing tactic for that. But I just don't think it's always going to work for a larger home or a home that maybe its biggest selling point is that basement that you can make into a family or an in-law
Okay.
suite. There are, we're aging baby boomers that we have too.
Yeah.
Don't forget, half of your target market is going to be millennial. The other half is going to be the aging baby boomers. So a lot of those people are moving out of their large homes into assisted living or
Yeah.
long-term care. So you're seeing a lot more assisted living buildings being built probably in certain areas. They have to be at least within a 15-mile radius of the nearest hospital. So the only reason why I know all that is because my dad's been in the healthcare industry for 40 years. I can tell you everything you want to know about senior living care and all that. So, and we've staged actually in 55 plus communities too. Virtual staging, again, it's just you have to be clear that you've utilized that service. And again, it should only be bringing pictures of furniture and decor into the photos of a vacant home only. You shouldn't really be going in there and changing paint colors or changing the color of the flooring, because technically that's not a representation of the current property. That's
Correct.
more, to
Yeah.
me, I kind of look at that as architectural renderings.
Yes.
There should be a difference there. And so, okay, if you change the sky color and maybe you made the lawn a little bit greener or something like that, to me, I guess it's kind of going to be hard to find that fine line of what's in the code of ethics and what
Yeah.
is not. But as long as you, like you mentioned, put in your private remarks or, make it known or have it say virtually staged in the photos, I think when you're posting, it would be nice to see the NAR or the multiple listing services setting some ground rules and regulations if, agents are going to start to be using virtual staging and AI. I will say AI,
Mhm.
be careful with that too, because AI is great and it's cheap and it's similar to virtual staging. But believe it or not, AI sometimes can't figure out a room. Like I
It
saw a photo.
alters things.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it does, it alters, and you can tell, like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like the kitchen island is all there.
Right.
Or, the other day I saw a photo on a listing. It was a vacant property that I look up vacant properties all the time to see what's out there. And the bed was on the wall where the door to the bathroom was. And I was like, wait a minute,
Oh,
that's not the right wall. Does
yeah,
the agent even know this or whatever? Because you can tell when looking at the photo, there's a wall hanging in between the two windows. You know that's where the bed's supposed to go, but it ended up over, on the other wall. And I'm like, wait a minute,
interesting.
that was probably an AI. Because if it was done
Yeah,
utilizing a virtual staging service, they wouldn't have done that.
they
Because
would have put
obviously
it
you
in
would
the
have
right
to
place.
prove it before
Yeah,
they would send you your final photos. Um, we
yeah.
actually pioneered the virtual staging, my husband and I, by the way.
Oh, cool.
We brought it about in 2006 and went public with it in 2008. And it was during the time where the economy was pretty much not doing so well.
Where they
Uh,
needed those cheaper options
it
to make
was
things look
another, and
good.
that's
Yeah,
the only reason why we brought it out as another option, not to replace home
yeah,
staging. Because it'll
yeah.
take a while before that happens. It
Nice.
might be a while, but again, I always emphasize try to combine the two services. Like for example, we do staging of, the main rooms of a home, and then maybe, I don't like exterior furniture because it gets dirty. I don't want to store it in my warehouse, so I usually provide a free photo or two of the exterior space and do it virtually staged.
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Well, you
yeah.
talked a little bit about how AI can change the paint color. So that leads into like the next question I have for you. So you collaborate, you said, with Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore, obviously well-known paint companies everywhere in the world, probably. So you partner with them. What are some of the top trending colors right now that you see and that you recommend if somebody wants to give their whole house a fresh coat of paint before they sell to get it ready to sell? What are the go-to colors they should be doing?
Oh, well, with Sherwin-Williams, it's easy. It's their number one paint color still, and that's alabaster.
Alabaster. I was like
Yeah,
alabaster in my head.
it's
Yeah.
alabaster for now. Benjamin Moore would probably be white dove.
Okay.
Seems to be popular there. Used on kitchen cabinetry as well.
Yeah.
Shiitake was a new color that came in, kind of a greigey, beigey
Hmm.
tone. I would say that, it takes a while for us here in Atlanta. We're always behind a little bit on the trends, but once it sets out in California and New York, eventually it makes its way into Atlanta. Until it maybe resurges, we will let you know. But
Right.
it's
I
very
was
possible it
never a
could come
gray,
break,
gray
come back
fan.
around again, but we'll
Mhm.
see how long, because stainless steel and brushed silver and all that might be coming back around as a metal. So
Mhm.
that's a little scary to think about. But right now, let's just focus on those beige tones, those warmer whites.
Yeah.
White was huge in Atlanta the past 2 years, and everybody's like, okay, we're tired. That's why you hear all the controversy with the Pantone color of the year.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, please, we have enough white. We would like to go
Yeah.
to something more classic, more kind of warm white and beigey tones.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
the alabaster, I believe, accessible beige is another. We have about 9 paint colors on our website at stagingatlanta.com. You can always
Okay.
go there,
Yeah.
print out, download it. Another 9 paint colors with Benjamin Moore. We have a relationship with them too. So in my paint CE classes, I actually hand out a whole bunch of Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore goodies. And then also too, Sherwin-Williams, remember they have these 8x8 peel and sticks that you can buy, or you can get them free on the Sherwin-Williams website too with
Yep.
the samples. You can open up an account with them and get a discount on paint and also provide that same discount to your clients too.
Oh, I might have to do that because I'm a big Sherwin-Williams fan. I
You
did
can
that.
do that and it's nationwide.
I had the big swatches and I put them on every wall because each wall looks different with
During the
how it
day
shadows
and
and during the day and
yes,
during the night. And I left them up there on the wall, on one wall for like a couple days, and then I moved them to a different spot. I mean,
yeah,
because the color I thought I wanted did not end up being the color that I
yeah.
picked, because I was going with like the alabaster or the agreeable beige, and I ended up going with modern gray, which is not, it has gray in the name, but it's more of like, to me, it's more of a beigey tone to it.
Greige, they call it greige.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and it's
it's,
very light, like
yeah.
very, very light, and I really liked it.
You want to keep it very neutral when
Mhm.
selling a home. You want to keep consistency, at least on the first floor, having the living, the dining, kitchen area and all that. I mean, if the kids' rooms are different colors and they just don't want to spend money, on painting all the rooms, at least stage the rooms that you first see when you walk into a home. And those
Nice.
main ones is what I would focus on too. But I will say if they, even if you don't do any staging, your seller's like, not doing it. I'm only going to do this, 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 and this. Get them to at least paint because it's the least expensive thing they could do for the greatest ROI. The end period. I mean, that's what I tell everybody in my paint class. If they don't want to spend any more money, at least get them to paint because you can tell them, okay, Mr. Seller, you could go to, and when you're touching up and it's just one wall or something or an accent wall and painting it, they can go to Sherwin-Williams, give them your name or your company name at Sherwin-Williams, and then your seller gets the discount on the paint. You don't get a huge discount, but you do get discount because you have an account there. And also too, they will keep track of those paint colors as well for those, clients too. And they keep it for so long so that if they forget what paint color they used, they could look it up online based on your account. So there's a lot of benefits to that to help agents out as far as that goes. But those are kind of the paint colors. I mean, obviously you're seeing paint colors of the year with Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, Valspar, HGTV. They're all those kind of, maybe either a green tone or a light brownish or a beigey or a universal khaki. I love the universal khaki paint color by Sherwin-Williams. I will say Sherwin-Williams really works hard on picking out their paint colors every year. And it's a very classic paint color. And I think it was a perfect choice heading into
that one too.
Obviously the 250-year anniversary that we talked about of our independence next year. So I think it was perfect kind of color. So it's warmer tones, earthy tones, still connecting with nature, the serenity, the peaceful, the comfort. It's all still there. That's kind of the word you're going to start to see, and more nature-esque aesthetics, more, as far as design trends go, you're going to see more texture and fringe and furs and more earthy type materials made out of, you're seeing a lot more stone and crystalline, I think they call it. I wish you guys could have seen our holiday show house. It was amazing. Lots of grass cloth, wallpaper, a lot of stone, a lot of curves in the stone and cutouts, and a lot of unique features in the bathrooms and the kitchen. And but a very casual, like this house, when we walked in, there was no formal dining room. It was very, kind of easygoing, casual living room. And then the dining was actually toward the kitchen as if that was the breakfast keeping room area. So there was no formal dining room.
Just more, just more like that
casual type
eat-in area in the kitchen.
It was a big dining area, and then it opened up to the patio because it had wide folding doors that go out to a small patio, and then the backyard had a small pool, and it was very more kind of a casual type approach for a $6 million home. I was surprised.
Wow. Yeah. For not having formal dining. Okay.
It was on a golf course, and location was really driving that price up because it was a very small lot, so they had to go up.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was a lot of earthy tones. It was a lot of, again, neutrals and texture and fringe and just unique. It was really unique. And that fifth wall, everybody's kind of taken advantage of. People forget the fifth wall. The ceiling. Yes. Yeah, you can keep it the same paint color as your wall color. That's the safe way to go when you're selling a home. But when you're decorating and all, they were doing wallpaper on the fifth ceiling. They were doing wood on the fifth wall. And
I have a new construction right now that did, like a stained wood on the ceiling, and it's a very tall, grand house. So people were like, that's awesome. So
it's kind of unique. The builders are getting, they're starting to dabble, some investor flippers. You just have to be very careful when I talk about home staging and such, just to be careful not to overdo it with too many trends, because sometimes a trend you may like it, but again, you want to appeal to the broadest range of potential buyers, so be careful. Trends can almost come back and bite you.
Right, if it's not them, for sure.
Like the all black kitchen that somebody wanted to do in $1 million home. He was like, I don't understand. It's a gorgeous home. What's happening? And my designer walks in, and stager just like, that black kitchen is not going to appeal to a broad range of potential buyers. You may like it, but the next person may not like it. So that could be hurting you right now. So things like that, you have to be careful not to follow too much or overdo the trends too much. Just a little bit is enough. And going for that clean lines kind of look and keeping it, as I always tell everybody, keep it simple. Don't overdo it. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Well, you kind of just hit on my next question, was talking about what trends you're seeing right now, in design in general and staging and marketing. And you kind of just touched on that. Is there anything like, as far as, I know you talked a little bit about maybe some of the fixtures, some of the hardware. What are you seeing right now as being popular? Like, let's say with like bathroom or kitchen faucets or some of that hardware.
Gosh, the safe way to go if you're like, oh my God, this is too much. I can't, agents are like, design is not my thing. I always tell people the safe way to go is always a warm neutral paint color and do a brushed silver or a nickel and you'll be fine. Because brass comes in, brass goes out. Now it's not even the brushed brass, it's now brushed, I think gold or brushed
Gold.
brass.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing
Yes,
here. It's a lot of the
yes, there's
gold.
that going
Yeah.
on right now. So you just have to be careful because not everybody likes brass too, or gold
Mhm.
hardware. We
Mhm.
saw quite a bit of the brushed gold hardware in this particular home. We saw a lot of different patterns of tile, and blacks and whites and browns and things like that that were really kind of cool. But again, just keep it simple. If you do a brushed silver and nickel, you'll be fine. But yeah, the brushed gold is really cool. Uh, I like the black fixtures and sometimes the was it bronzed or whatever. Um,
Yeah, rub bronze.
yeah, the rub bronze and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It it kind of varies right now. I think the trending thing, like you just said, is that brushed gold, the brushed brass kind of thing going on
Mhm.
right now. But again, it comes in and then it might go back out.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to be careful with, is just depends on what kind of preference. But again, when you're selling a home, if there's anything you can do to update the hardware or update even fans, like in my home, I took out the
Mhm.
1980s looking fans and did like
Mhm.
a 3 or 5 blade, kind of more clean lines looking
Yeah.
contemporary-ish style. I will say that the light fixtures here in Atlanta are just going all over the place. They're like these huge, I mean, there was literally a $10,000 chandelier in a house that we
Oh, wow.
staged. And I was like, oh my word. They're just going all out on these kind of bells. I call them bells and whistles,
Yeah.
which you can do in the high-end homes. I don't think that it's necessary to do that in a $500,000 house or less.
You just won't get your money back. I mean, you can
No,
do
you
it.
won't.
You can do it for
Like you can
yourself,
find really
but just, yeah.
easy a 3 light or a 5 light fixture that's clean
Mhm.
lines from even Home Depot or even on Amazon or Lowe's, and something that's just really clean and simple, and it's super easy. Light fixtures can also be capped too. If you're like, I don't know, just cap it then and let the next buyer pick out their own light
Mhm.
fixture. As long as
Mhm.
there's enough
Good
light coming
idea.
in the dining area,
Yeah.
if it's not too dark, you can do that.
Yeah.
And again, paint. Trend wise too, also I wanted to mention is we haven't seen any dark hardwood floors yet. It's all been light,
Like the white oak
still
or,
light wood colors, light gray colors,
yeah,
wide plank. So no dark wood flooring yet. Of
coming
course,
back.
dark shows all the scratching stuff.
It did. It was a trend for a while, and then you're like,
It
I can see
was, but I
every
haven't seen it
footprint,
in a
every dog
while.
here. Yes.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, because it was hard to take care of when I had it. I know that is for sure.
Yeah,
So,
we're keeping our flooring in our house light and just let the next person do whatever they want to do
mhm.
with it and all that. But it'll be fun to see what happens in 2026 for sure.
Yeah.
I think this earthy tone, connecting with nature, people trying to get themselves to take a break from being on computer and phones and cell phones and take more staycations and vacations
Right.
and what they call it now. It's been interesting to see. I think we'll continue that in 2026. And of course, it's going to be a historical moment. There's a lot of big things going on here in Atlanta. We have the World Cup coming here, and then we have our 250-year celebration in July of our independence thing. So that'll be kind of interesting to see and go from there. So we're
Yeah.
ready to stage some more houses. We do about 300 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, you've
vacant
just been
homes. Yeah,
so great, so knowledgeable. I've enjoyed having you. I've learned a lot. I
thanks.
appreciate you being here and sharing all this knowledge with us. So if people want to get to your website, we'll definitely link it below. But if you want to tell them how they can reach out to you, if they're
Sure.
interested in learning more, taking one of your classes, or if they're in the Atlanta area and want you to come stage their house and then
Yeah,
clean
there
it,
you go.
how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I always tell people my name is spelled a little unique. It's a Hungarian spelling, but it's Krisc Tina and last name Bell. So Krisztina Bell. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And then, of course, we now own the domain name stagingatlanta.com.
Okay.
My company's No Vacancy, but stagingatlanta.com is easier to find. And there's lots of valuable information on there. Everything that we talked about, benefits, stats, paint colors are on there for you. There's even staging tips for the seasons. And if you're just curious to see what my class is all about, and you come to Atlanta, you can see it. I just did 2 Zoom ones, so it'll be a while before I do any more Zoom, but maybe toward the end of the year. And other than that, I, again, always enjoy providing valuable info. I'm happy to come speak and talk a little bit more on Zoom to any of your agents there in South Dakota too. And we
Yes,
love
we're definitely
EXP. We have some great EXP clients. There's one agent I think of right now, and she loves us. I've presented to her whole team. She has a house that literally is where all of her team goes to.
Oh, nice.
And they have parties there and celebrate all their obviously sales and do their sales meetings and such. So happy to come back and share some more info. And
yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
well, thank you.
All right, thanks guys for joining us.
That wraps up this episode of The Local Lens. Thanks for tuning in and exploring South Dakota with me. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help us reach more listeners. Stay connected with us on social media for updates and more community highlights. Until next time, keep discovering, connecting, and thriving.